And we are live right here on YouTube. What's up to TikTok over there in the other camera? My name is Jay Aletto, and this is the channel. This is PWP Nation. Thank you so much for joining me. If it's your first time, hopefully it's not the last time. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share this video, do what you can to support the channel because this is only the beginning, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. Tonight, I am expected to be joined by Ashley Rose Nova. She's an edgy writer. She's an artist. She has a ton of different projects she's currently doing, a lot of partnerships. We're going to talk to her about what she's doing to succeed in the wrestling space and most importantly in life. I mean, I want to know what she has to say about like life and how everything's going for her currently. I mean, it's been a crazy year. A lot of people have grown in a lot of ways and have changed the way their outlooks are in some aspects, I believe. Lots of change from 2020 and 2021. So we're just enjoying the ride. We're just having a good time. And it's been sure to tell a crazy ride for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market. And as per the usual, I talk about Bitcoin on this show a lot. And that's something that I believe in because I believe Bitcoin is in its very early stages of adaptation. I mean, it is brand new to the mainstream. Nobody's using Bitcoin to do anything except to hold it, to collect it, to think of it as something that will increase in value over the long term. Now, if you look here at the Bitcoin chart, courtesy of coinmarketcap.com, no affiliation, Bitcoin is sitting just above $46,000. You're talking $46,528 as I speak. That is absolutely absurd. That's over 31% gain over the last 7 days and 4% over the past 24 hours. As we know, Elon Musk, that's what this model Tesla kind of mock number is up here. This is just a joke, obviously, but Elon Musk did announce that he has invested Tesla money into Bitcoin. I can't remember how much Elon invests in Bitcoin. Let's see how much. I think it was 1.9 billion, maybe. Oh, 1.5 billion. $1.5 billion Elon Musk has invested into Bitcoin. Unbelievable. He'll also accept Bitcoin for a Tesla. It's crazy town, everybody. I am ahead of the game, thankfully, and I hope you will be too. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe in Bitcoin. Look at Cardano. Cardano, not that long ago, was a penny. I remember Cardano was, I think, $1 plus maybe at some point, or maybe close to $1 plus. Then it dropped all the way to a penny. And let me tell you something. There were some people back in 2017 that were so into Cardano as a currency, as a project, as something that could last you for years to come, as just an investment tool. I'm pretty certain that many of those people that were pushing it back then just continued to buy it. I didn't. I'm not one of them. I have exactly 50 something Cardano, very small amount, very, very tiny amount. And that's just from what was left over from years ago on an exchange somewhere. And holy guacamole, that's a big number for Cardano. They have just gone right up the chart. They have passed XRP. Look at this. Now, XRP, look, man, XRP is stale, but it's up 27% over the last 7 days, 2% over the last 24 hours. It's stagnant because it's not available anywhere in the States. You can only get it on certain exchanges and not the most popular ones. So Binance doesn't have it. Robinhood doesn't have it. You don't have it on Coinbase. It's nowhere. It's not in the popular exchanges right now, but you still can get XRP, of course, in different countries. There's just a big lawsuit going on with the SEC. Polkadot has fallen off a little bit. I was talking about Polkadot last week, still up 33% over the last 7 days, but it's fallen in total market cap. It has definitely lost ground to XRP and Cardano, but that's fine. That happens. And Litecoin has also lost ground to those three as well, but still a big player here, $172, Chainlink at 27. And here's Doge. The big underdog Doge seems to be dropping off here in the evening on the East Coast, but that's okay. That's okay. Lots of people made a lot of money off of Doge, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm happy whenever anyone's making some of that beautiful cash. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a good thing. But yeah, what's going on today as far as wrestling talk is concerned? We're going to get into some of that, but we're also going to bring in my very special guest for the evening, who I'm very happy to have on the show for the first time, hopefully the first time of many times. I'd like to say hi to Ashley Rose Nova. What's up, Ashley? Ashley, you there? Can you hear me? I don't have any audio.
I can't hear you.
She can hear me. I can't hear her.
1 minute.
Let me see if I can fix it on my end. Looks good over here. Mic volume looks good. Cancellation. No, I don't hear you. There are microphone settings at the bottom. You might be able to see microphone settings. That might work for you. Maybe it was my bad. Can you hear me now? Ashley, can you hear me now? Still no? I could hear you now, thankfully. Let me try something.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Ashley. Yeah, I can hear you now. Absolutely.
Awesome. I couldn't hear you, so it was like freaking me out.
No, it happens. It's all right. Technical difficulties. What's up? How you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me here on my show. I do appreciate it. Look, we've spoken on Twitter countless times, and I'm happy to actually see you face to face and talk to you right here in person. Looking great as always. I really want to dive into some questions I have for you. And the first thing I want to do is actually share your Linktree page. And I want to show everybody all of these partnerships and different projects you're working on that you have. You seem to be an influencer and you have a lot of different things you have going on. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing right now in the wrestling space.
What am I not doing is the question. Right now I'm running Culture Plus Entertainment as an editor. So we've got different things going on there. We cover Impact, WWE, AEW. We're also involved in the gaming industry now. Films, media, we're opening up our departments to comics and anime now. I also work part-time as a writer for TWM News in the UK, also known as the Wrestle Movement. They've been around for like ever. I'm covering Noah, DDT, and the whole AEW / Impact thing going on.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, you have a lot going on. That's awesome. That's great to hear about. So tell me a little bit about your background. How long have you been a wrestling fan? And tell me about like your passion for it, because I could obviously see your passion shining through, not only in your writing, but also in your fandom of certain professional wrestlers and professional wrestling organizations. So tell me a little bit about how you came up as a wrestling fan.
Actually, I've been a wrestling fan like my entire life. Lucha Libre is a big deal in my household because my grandmother, she grew up near like down south. My grandfather was a Tejano musician at the time. So Lucha Libre is a big deal in my household. And growing up, like everyone else, I watched, WWF at the time, but WWE. So, I mean, that's pretty much like how long I've been a fan, ever since I can think of it. As far as, everything else going on, I actually fell into pro wrestling writing. I don't know if me and you've ever had that discussion. I know I've definitely talked to like Jake and, Joe about it before, but I just kind of fell into writing. I was actually a comic book artist, and 6 years ago, after graduating, with a sequential art degree and graphic design, and I kind of got wore out, there's just a lot of things that like happen. It's very like time. Not only is it time consuming, it's very stressful to meet those deadlines. So I kind of stopped drawing, and I got my break at my fantasy sports talk because I used to tweet about wrestling on and off besides comics. So there's that. I fell into it.
Beautiful. That's great. And have you always been a writer, or is that something that you just started when it came with wrestling, or did you write before that?
I used to write, I wrote like scripts and stories, like comic book based for like short, like comic, like style, like basically, I guess you can say online comics. So I would write short scripts. Sure. I did some creative writing, but I didn't actually start doing like feature writing until later on. So it's been like 6 years now, something temporary. Now I'm here permanently. So
Yeah, that's right. It's a long journey ahead. And that's what I try to remind people. A lot of people get caught up in aging and in all that stuff. Look, life is a long journey, and we're both on this journey throughout this whole wrestling space. I've kind of been canceled a little bit over the past year. A lot of people don't like some of the things I have to say, but that's okay. I'm not
is
worried
it
about
your
that.
political views or is it just your
Possibly.
opinions?
I think a lot of the wrestling community got mad at me because I had some I like stood up for Jim Ross. Like I don't see what the positive thing is in attacking an old guy like that who's a widow and his wife died under like wild circumstances where she got hit by a car. So I stood up heavy for Jim Ross over the summer. Yeah. He's gonna say crazy stuff on commentary. Like, what did you think about that? He's just an old dude. Like they're gonna say crazy things. They're not gonna always be up to speed with how our society is evolving.
Yeah, as far as Jim, like he's been like that for years. I mean, it's not a surprise, it's not a shock. So I don't really, I mean, that's just how he always was. And I can say that, like I said, I grew up in the Attitude Era, so I'm familiar with his commentary style.
Definitely. And he doesn't mean anything by it. Like the guy's not trying he's not like trying to be a scumbag or anything like that. He's not that kind of guy. The thing is he's just trying to be like I don't know. He's a perverted old guy. They exist. People exist. People are all different shapes and sizes and have all different beliefs and ways they handle it. Whether it's right or wrong, look, that's not up to us to judge. I mean, just worry about yourself. I'm so tired of the cancel culture, but this is only the beginning of our journeys. I truly believe that. And I do want you to be on this show, hopefully regularly, but we have a lot to talk about in the wrestling business. And you are I would consider you an expert. I follow your Twitter page. You're constantly talking about Impact Wrestling. I have to say, you are probably one of the most passionate Impact Wrestling fans I've seen on Twitter. And I want to know, wrestling is wild right now. A lot of crazy things going on. Yeah. I want to know what your favorite storyline is right now in the business. I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what it is, and who your top 5 wrestlers are. They could cross genders. They can be, they don't even have to be your definitive top 5. Just 5 wrestlers we should all keep an eye on. I mean, look, however you want to interpret it,
top 5. Well, I mean, we have to say Kenny Omega. I've been a Kenny Omega fan for like almost 11 years. So I'm going to go with him. I definitely like my other, most favorite person is Alex Shelley.
Okay. Yeah. I've noticed that. You've got a lot of love for Alex Shelley. Where'd that come from?
Well, I've always liked Alex Shelley. I liked him in Ring of Honor and I liked him in New Japan. And then he retired and I couldn't talk about him anymore. So now he's back. So I could talk about him.
That guy should have never retired. You have to remember when he was in Ring of Honor, I was at a lot of those shows. He was at the top of the card with guys like Austin Aries and Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe and all these dudes. He was literally at the top. Who else was there? Nigel McGuinness, AJ Styles. And then
Nigel was definitely one of my faves. Definitely. One of the best technical wrestlers ever, in my opinion.
Yeah. That Ring of Honor 2005, 2006 roster was so sick.
Yeah, it was so stacked. I mean, everyone, I think that was really, I would count that as the peak of Ring of Honor at the time.
Oh, totally. And it was great because it was coming right after the close of WCW, right after the close of ECW. WWE had about a few years where it was just them and TNA. And not even, they had 1 year. They had because TNA and Ring of Honor both debuted in 2002. Yeah. So Ring of Honor took some time to ramp up, but around that 2005, 2006 era, they were killing it. So we got Kenny Omega, we got Alex Shelley. Who else we got in your top 5? Or just 5, whatever 5 you want to
Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Got to have Daniel Bryan in there. Let's see. Who else would I have in there? Marufuji from Noah.
Wow, that's a blast. So for me, that's a blast from a past because I saw Marufuji wrestle in Ring of Honor live in 2008.
Yeah, you're absolutely lucky. I have yet to see Marufuji wrestle. So that's what? That's 4. Who would my top 5 be? Let me see. Currently, I think everyone needs to look out for as far as Impact. I would definitely say Moose.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Moose is the kind of guy that if he would have taken the step to NXT, he would have become the NXT world champion, I think.
Yeah, this would be my like top 5 of like currently. If we're gonna, I think a slow runner up would probably be Karrion Kross too from
Oh,
NXT.
yeah. What a beast that guy is. Holy crap. Like that guy has long-term main event potential for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he will be a main eventer. You know, I'm like
Definitely.
positive and confident about it.
Yeah, and he's got Scarlett with him. I mean, that brings his game
Yeah,
to another level.
and
Not only
I
are
also
they in a
don't like the
relationship,
fact that she's not wrestling right now because I think like it's. I mean, not only is she beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I think people need to remember that she does wrestle. She can
Mhm.
wrestle. She wrestled in AAA. She wrestled at Impact. So, we'll see if she gets in the ring or if she's going to continue being a valet. I hope she does get in the ring though.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those things where you build it up for a while and then you just wait for the right moment.
Yeah.
And then she shows off what she could do. Cause right now it's her like character is so mysterious and you really don't know what she's thinking. She's almost like a witch or something in a sense. Like, how would you describe her character right now?
Like I would describe it as well.
It's almost like a sexy witch.
Yeah, not
Kind
not
of.
necessarily like a witch. I mean, definitely like a. It's like a type of like it's definitely a partnership because you know they are together, and it's more of like kind of like that female almost sidekick that adds to the main character. Definitely
Yeah.
like a natural born killers type feel.
Yeah, they have a lot of chemistry, which again is from their real life relationship, I'm sure, and them working together in the past as well before actually getting together on TV and NXT, which is a big jump. But a lot of those names are on my list as well, especially Omega, Bryan, and Karrion Kross. He's in my top 10 right now. What do you think about Edge coming back? I mean, not only coming back, but coming back to win the Royal Rumble. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm totally okay with it. I'm totally down. I like Edge, you know, but I'll be honest, I was more of a Christian fan,
Yep.
which emphasizes why like I can easily like transition over to Impact or TNA because he was their like main champion, their world champion at one time. So yeah, I mean, I'm totally okay with it. I saw like some people were kind of on a negative aspect of it, but I think it's a great thing. It's a great move. And you know, why not? Why not have him have him in that last run? And you know, why not? Everything is so the way currently, you know, as far as pro wrestling and the world is today in this society, I would definitely say what you would think is impossible is now probable.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And if you weren't going to do it now, then when were you going to do it? That was my argument leading up to the Royal Rumble. I was thinking, okay, Edge is a contender to win this thing for sure. So if you're ever gonna pull the trigger on this, you either do it on like a world title run or even just build up to a championship match. You do it now, or you have a blast from the past and do it at Money in the Bank and have him win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That was the other idea I had in the back of my mind because that would be cool to see him kind of redevelop that character where he's a scumbag heel and like cashes in on the unexpected babyface. I thought that would be cool. Maybe it'll still happen in the future. I don't know. But there's a lot that we can also talk about heading into WrestleMania. And Edge,
I honestly liked the Royal Rumble this year. I saw a lot of people complaining about it, but I honestly think they're just naturally adapted to complaining about everything at this point when it comes to WWE. But I actually enjoyed the Royal Rumble this year.
Hell yeah, it was good. It was good. And that's exactly right. People do complain about every single thing. But who's Edge going to wrestle at WrestleMania? Is it going to be McIntyre, Finn Balor, or who I think it's going to be Roman Reigns personally?
I think it's going to be Roman. I definitely do. Like that's just kind of what I saw as far as like the card and the way things were like stacking up. I think it's going to be Roman.
For sure. And you got that built-in storyline just ready to go. The spear versus the spear. Who's going to take it? And so on top of that, you know, that's probably the number one storyline this time of the year. Every year is what's going on with WrestleMania. However, we've got a huge storyline developing over the past number of weeks with AEW and Impact, mainly Kenny Omega, your boy, and the Invisible Hand, who I see you giving a lot of love to. I've been a fan of Don Callis since I was a kid, since Cyrus the Virus.
The Virus, yeah, absolutely.
All over ECW. Like his run in ECW was amazing because he was just on point, saying things in a way that he still says them today, giving you kind of the inside baseball and what's really going on behind the scenes, but doing it through that scumbag character. So talk to me about this storyline. This has been awesome. I'm loving seeing what I'm seeing.
Well, I think people seem to forget about like how Don is as an individual. I absolutely love Don. I loved him. Like I said, like you said in ECW, I think he's great. I think people seem to forget that he has a business background, and he has a brilliant mind for pro wrestling and this industry. And as far as the storyline, I definitely think things are going to peak up to our next pay-per-view, which is Rebellion. Everyone seems to be talking about it because the fact that it does have an Omega logo on it.
Let me look at that. I haven't even seen that yet. So Rebellion, when is Rebellion?
April 24th, I believe. It's going
to be a big show. Oh wow, that's an old Rebellion poster. What is up with that? Come on, Images. What are we doing? So why are these? So I don't use Google. Like I use DuckDuckGo, and the results.
April 24th.
Okay. Yeah, the results are crazy. What's the big match? What are we looking forward to? Because I'm going to be honest, like I haven't really watched Impact. I don't watch it, but
honestly, we don't know what the card is for Rebellion yet.
Okay.
Right now we are concentrating on No Surrender, which is this Saturday. That's going to be an Impact Plus event. So if anyone can, you get 30 days free, and you just go to Impact, and it's on pretty much almost every app. So there's that event. That's the one we're concentrating on right now. But the main pay-per-view that's going to be on Fight is going to be Rebellion. And yeah, that's our current pay-per-view for Saturday.
So this is No Surrender. Is No Surrender like a revolving kind of pay-per-view? Like
it's an Impact Plus,
I got you. It's like Takeover. It's kind of like how Takeover is the same kind of show every few months or whatever.
Basically you do have to have the app to watch that show, or some locations, if you can't access the app, Fight TV will have you covered for that.
And this really shows what kind of brilliant mind Don Callis is, because not only is he doing this invisible hand thing with Kenny Omega, he's also the booker, I believe, the head of creative of Impact, right? Or him and oh man, my brain isn't working too well. God, the name's
well, he's the
Canadian guy, the Canadian dude.
The other one is Scott D'Amore.
Yes, Scott D'Amore. Yeah, that's right.
And he's fantastic. Even if you look back at his career in pro wrestling as well, absolutely fantastic. The X Division match is going to be one of probably the best matches. You got this developing storyline with Rohit and TJP.
Let's stop right there for a second. Why do people hate TJP so much? Why does he seem to always have heat?
I personally, I don't have any issue with TJ. TJ's always been super fucking nice to me. I don't even know if I can cuss on this, so sorry.
You can curse. Yeah, anything goes. Cool. Anything goes until YouTube says no more, Jay. We're kicking you off the platform.
Gotcha. I honestly don't know. I don't understand it. I know maybe they don't. Put it this way, a friend of mine, in the community, used to be a writer for Daily DDT when I was there at Daily DDT at one time. The best thing he ever said was pros of the wrestling community and Twitter. You get to express your opinion and share your faves. Negatives of it, you express your opinion, share your faves. So I think it's maybe because TJ's highly opinionated. And, like everyone else, that is everyone's right, is to be opinionated.
Sure.
Who am I to tell you how to feel? Or who am I to tell you, what you can and can't do? So yeah, I honestly think it just has to do with his opinions about a lot of things. But I personally have never had any issues with them. Like, but then again, I'm pretty chilled, as you can tell. And, you've known me for a while. And I'm pretty much like, hey, if that's your opinion, that's your right. I mean, I'm a firm believer in people can express their opinion, And if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Who am I to judge you? I'm not like, I'm not in charge of your life. Who am I?
And the only way we can settle differences, whether it's opinion based or there's like all these facts and alternate facts, and people think they have the truth, and other people claim they have the truth. It's crazy, but the only way to really solve those issues is through respectful discourse and discussion. That's the only way to do it. You find some common ground with somebody, because at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have some kind of common ground. If we talk it out, I'm sure we could find something we have in common, and then you build on that. And if it gets a little heated, it gets a little heated. But I would never want to end somebody's career or their livelihood over their personal opinion on anything. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it is part of our constitutional rights, as Americans. If you are an American, you live in America, it is your right to express how you feel, your opinions. However, people, regardless if you're agree with someone, one thing I did find is that, and you kind of just learn to deal with it, is regardless if you think what you're saying let me rephrase that, is appropriate, someone's going to disagree with you anyways. People disagree with me about supporting Impact. That's not my problem. That's your problem. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But I also ask the question, have you ever even given it a try?
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I was a huge Impact fan for many, many years. And the honest only reason why I stopped watching the show is because it got really bad at a certain point. And that's just the reality of wrestling shows. Sometimes they get bad, but it has made a roaring freaking comeback. I still tune in on YouTube from time to time. I don't have the channel. I don't even have cable television. But I know you can watch it on Twitch, right?
Watch it on Twitch. We have an entire Twitch channel that just streams, Impact episodes. And of course, whatever's currently airing on Access, they put it on Twitch. Also, they do have a Pluto TV channel now.
Okay, that's good news. Do you think sometimes there's just too much wrestling?
Well, right now, I think everyone kind of needs it, as much wrestling.
True.
But yeah, I mean, before as far as, things with the pandemic occurred, I would definitely say, yeah, there's too much. You had a lot of independents. You had New Japan going on. You had Noah going on, DDT. You had AEW, working. You had Impact working. You had WWE working. And, of course, the A show and the B show, not to emphasize, but let's say, A, B, and C, you have Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So, yeah, for a while it did get kind of like, it's a little too much to compress, but with the pandemic now, people are watching more Impact. They're watching more AEW, more WWE, because the simple fact is there's not a whole lot of indie wrestling going on right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And the indie wrestling that is going on is in the Midwestern area. Right now, I did see that there's some wrestling going on in Georgia. And I mean, now we have some indie movement going, which I'm kind of happy and pleased about.
Yeah, we've got Game Changer Wrestling up here in Jersey, and that's a company that kind of has they haven't defied lockdown orders. They haven't defied it. They've played by the rules. I shouldn't say they've defied it, but they've also been harshly criticized for putting on shows where, it was in the summer and they were outdoors and there might not have been the proper amount of distance between people. But look, at the end of the day, these promoters and the wrestlers, they still have to make a living somehow. So you can't really fault them for running the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult time, I would say, for pro wrestling right now. But I remember one show I was on, I did an interview, and this was like when the pandemic started and indie shows closed down, of course. Someone had asked me if I felt that indie wrestling was going to survive. And my reply was, absolutely. Absolutely, independent wrestling will survive and we will thrive. We will find any way. Because, it's basically goes to that mentality of DIY. I come from growing up in high school and middle school in a very punk rock background. for a while, like I used to actually, I remember sitting in a friend of mine's bedroom because her brother was in a band, and we used to screen the actual patches for shows and make the buttons. So at the end of the day, like I said, an indie wrestling show is exactly that. Promoters doing it themselves. So of course it's going to thrive. They're going to find a way. And of course, we got indie TV now. We have all these options now. So if there isn't an active live audience or a small audience, you can still stream it on YouTube. You can still stream it on Twitch. It's accessible now.
Yeah, 100%. I think it'll survive too. And I think we're really at this, almost here's what I'm going to say, right? Let me backtrack a bit. When things start to reopen, when we're at a point where everything is safe, where we can gather in public again, I think the wrestling business is going to explode. Now, hear me out here. I think we're going to see this kind of like swelling of the business. It's going to get exposed to a lot of people. WWE's deal with Peacock is a big deal. It's not something that should be taken lightly from anyone in the whole entire industry, because it's going to put more eyes on the product. And ultimately that's what they need. And they're starting to work with like rappers and mainstream celebrities now to promote it. And I think the push to WrestleMania, I think this is going to be on the books, one of the most important WrestleManias in the history of professional wrestling. And that's exactly why this Peacock deal is $1 billion deal. It's their second $1 billion network deal over the past couple of years. It's huge for the industry. It opens up the doors for many of these other companies.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And like I said, I can already tell that there is a drastic change as far as pro wrestling. And it, like you said, it is going to explode. It's just a matter of when. I mean, I can tell you, you remember when I got off Twitter for like a couple of months.
You disappeared. You disappeared. You didn't tell anybody. You're just like, peace, I'm out of here.
Because it was, I was just like, fuck this right now, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And people did go and find me. They found me on Facebook. I deactivated Facebook because of that. They went and found me on Instagram. And it was just that they wanted me to continue writing. And at the time I was like, well, I don't think there's anything else I can contribute to pro wrestling. But since I have been back on Twitter, I have noticed a progression in people interacting with me and people following me, which, you and I've had that discussion. That's how I can tell that, there's something that's going to happen. There's something that's going to go on. We just don't, it's just a matter of when it's going to pop off at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with you 100%. And I think it's going to have a lot to do with this this crazy pandemic that's going on. And once that kind of subsides, we'll be in good shape. But there's your Twitter. Wow, you have really accelerated your followers. You ain't kidding. 16,000. I actually did look at this the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised that you are now at 16. You're on the road to 20, girl. That is amazing. Good for you. Crushing.
Yeah. And like it took a long time. I've been writing pro wrestling for like 6 years. And
it only just begun.
Yeah. And since I came back, it's like there is a progression. There is a need for like pro wrestling. It's clear.
Totally. Yeah. Let's work together more. I think we should work together a little bit more in the future. I think that would be
yeah.
Cool.
I've sent you some old articles that you were like, they're still pretty good.
Yeah. I love that evergreen content, that stuff where you can put on any website and it still be kind of relevant in some way, shape, or form. I think that stuff is awesome. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time tonight. And I want to do this again. Hopefully we can hook up again next month or the month after that around WrestleMania time and talk again. But I always like to kind of finish off with this question. And this show that I started, it's got a lot to do with everything that's going on. I don't just want to focus it on pro wrestling only. I've been stuck in that shoebox for way too long. Let's talk about everything. Let's try to improve people's lives. Let's try to talk about finances and life experience and stuff. So I'd like to talk to all of my friends about this specific thing, because everybody has a different story, a different journey, and just give the people who are watching or listening some practical real life advice that anyone, I'm talking anyone, can use to achieve their goals. So whatever your interpretation of that is, hook me up with some kind of real life practical advice.
Well, you just got to get up and crush it. That's literally it. I wake up every day, and just looking at my social media, you can guess that I don't rest. I don't sleep. Like, I get up every day and I set a goal to accomplish something, whether it's writing, whether it's me trying to develop content, if it's me trying to get an affiliate deal, which I have a few of them on there. I have one more coming up, and it's for energy drinks,
Beautiful.
Like,
that's great news.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you just have to get up. And, every day when people told me I wasn't shit, or I wasn't going to be anything, or I wasn't going to do anything, or, no one gives a fuck about my pro wrestling writing, that I'm quote unquote just a blogger, I crush them every fucking day. Every day I crush them when I accomplish something. And at the end of the day, that's all you have to do. You just have to have the drive and the ability to set a goal and try to crush it every day. Just try to have that drive. And it's not that I wish any ill on anyone, because I don't. Everyone's has the right to their own opinions. They have the right to express themselves in any way that they want. I truly believe that. However, I just choose to shine brighter. And the way I actually learned all that, I would highly recommend, anyone to check out Henry Rollins and his Rules to Success. That is where I get my work mentality from, is specifically those set of rules. I mean, go to YouTube, you can look it up. It'll be on there.
Is it a book, or is it a video or a book?
It's a video. Just go to YouTube, and Henry Rollins always explains his rules to success. And my main thing is just crush it. Set a goal, try to accomplish it. Every day, try to set, even the smallest goal. Like, I'm going to get up at this time and maybe I'll go work out. Set that goal, achieve it. Just try to. All you have to do is just try.
Do you write down your goals?
Do I write down my goals? Nah.
No?
I kind of just think of it throughout the day.
Keep it running through your head.
Yeah, just run it through your head. That's how I do it. I run it through my head all day.
Yeah, that's
and
a beautiful
then of course
thing.
my phone is going off at the same time, but I always try to accomplish it, whether it's me writing something. And people ask me, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm going to write something. I'm on all these different platforms. I can easily go from your platform, because I was so grateful that you welcomed me on there, because I think it's usually just you and
my site. Yeah, my site has ebbs and flows, man. We were balling at one point. I had like 15 writers, and we've had just me. It's been a crazy journey, but I'm not stopping. It's still going to be. I'm just kind of taking a little bit of hiatus, focusing on YouTube now. But please feel free. You can post anything on my site anytime you want.
Yeah, and I was like grateful that you even had me on there, because it was another audience to reach, because you have a different audience than someone in the UK would have.
Sure.
You have a different audience than Daily DDT. So definitely. I just constantly post, and regardless, I'm going to write something, whether it be gaming, entertainment, pro wrestling. I'm going to write it. It's just a matter of where it's going to go. So that's why I always have a flux of articles coming out. It's never really from one solid place.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And I'm definitely going to check out Henry Rollins' Rules to Success. I do appreciate you giving me that tidbit. And hey, look, you're fantastic. You're one of my good friends on Twitter. And hopefully we can continue this friendship on and on into the future, because my show's not going anywhere. I know your writing's not going anywhere. So let's keep this thing going on into 2021 and beyond. Any final words for people out there who might be listening to this or watching it at any point in time? Because who knows, somebody could be watching this like 5 years from now.
Hey, if you have a dream, man, like I said, you got a dream, go out there and do it. You want to write a book, find a printer, print your book, find someone that'll publish you. There's a lot of self-publishing options. If you have a dream, just go try it. Just go try it. Don't worry about if anyone's going to like it. The main goal is if you did something you wanted to do.
I love it. Ashley, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'll talk to you later, and make sure you send this out. I mean, if you want to take it, do whatever you want with this clip. You can have this. Do whatever you want with it. If you want to time capsule it, whatever, do what you wish.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.